timing. So welcome everybody today who is here as a visitor. We are very excited to chat with you. I do want to let you know that we're going to record this information session. So if you miss anything or if you need to log off early, we will be sending out a recording later this week probably so that you have that on hand. And there are several of us here, panelists for today. And so I'd love to introduce each one of us. From my point of view, I am from the admission office. My name is Courtney, and I work here at MCPHS. I've been here about 10 years now. And so very excited to meet all of you. And if you have any admission related questions, I would be certainly happy to answer those. And then some of my colleagues are on here today as well. Dr. Beach.
Hello, I'm Dr. Larry Bache. I'm Professor and Associate Dean of Research here at MCPHS Optometry, and I welcome you.
Excellent. And then we have two students joining us today. Either one of you can go first. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves.
You're both muted, by the way.
Okay, hi everybody, I'm Delasha. I'm a first-year optometry student and I'm from Edmonton, Alberta. And welcome everyone.
Hello everyone, my name is Ruby. I'm also a first-year student. I'm also from Edmonton, Alberta as well.
What are the odds, right? Well, so glad to have you here today. And the four of us are really excited to be here today to talk to you about your program option through the School of Optometry. So I've got a little PowerPoint presentation that I'm going to pull up for you now. We're going to go through that, give you some information about the university, our optometry program, how to apply, and of course we'll have plenty of time for Q&A as well at the end. So if you do have any questions during this presentation, feel free to use the Q&A function. That's in your kind of menu on your screen. We'll use the Q&A kind of over the chat as that's an easier way to kind of track everything. All right. So why don't we get started? Okay, so to tell you a little bit about our university, if you're not familiar with us, we are a healthcare specific university. So we offer over 100 programs, every single one of them relating back to healthcare. And that really benefits you as a student here at MCPHS. A lot of our faculty are still working in the field, and so they're able to bring back new treatments and diagnoses and just different things that they're seeing day to day right back into the classroom and lab, and you really get to learn things in real time. Not only that, but you're going to be surrounded by other healthcare students. So it's not just optometry, and you're really going to learn a ton from them. You'll get to know them socially, but also through school-sponsored activities, and really get kind of that well-rounded education before you graduate. We've also been around for a long time. We actually just celebrated our 200th birthday last year, which was pretty fun. So we have been around for a long time. We are the oldest school of pharmacy in the country, and we have certainly grown since then. So we now have over 7,000 students enrolled at our university, and they come from everywhere, all over the United States, but all over the world as well. So we have several international students, as you've just heard here as well. And I really think that that legacy, that 200-year legacy, means that we're very well known, both in New England and beyond. And what that means for you as a student is that you're going to get these really great clinical experiences outside of the university. And when you go out onto your externships, we have a lot of different opportunities. While most of them are focused in the Northeast, we actually have externship sites located all over the United States. So we go all the way out to California, in rural Alaska. We have externship sites in Texas, Florida. So if it's something where you're looking to travel or maybe go closer to home or do some sort of specialty, we really work with our optometry students to make sure that they get the best match for those externships. So as a quick snapshot for our different campuses, like I said, we started out just in Boston. We were a school of pharmacy, that's it. And then we grew. So we opened up our Worcester campus in 2000 and Manchester a couple of years after that. When you think about our Boston campus, at this point, we're really mostly undergraduate programs down in Boston. We do have a handful of graduate, and PhD programs located in Boston. But when you're thinking about graduate and professional programs, the majority of those are actually located in Worcester, Massachusetts, and Manchester, New Hampshire. In addition, we have a robust portfolio of online programs. So there are a lot of mostly non-clinical based programs in our online portfolio. And so we have several students enrolled in programs such as healthcare business and public health. Now, when you're looking at the optometry program, that's actually based exclusively at our Worcester, Massachusetts campus. And if you're not from around here, I'll kind of help you figure out where that is. It's right smack dab in the center of Massachusetts. We're about a 45 to 50-minute drive away from Boston. So this is the second largest city in New England after Boston, and probably the second largest healthcare area after Boston in New England. And so really healthcare is right at your fingertips. When you're in Worcester, you're going to have a lot of clinical opportunities, both on campus and in the surrounding area. And it's a pretty fun city to be in. There's a lot of stuff to do. We're really up and coming. NPR actually deemed Worcester the new It Town back in 2018 because we're a pretty big hub booming with innovation and technology. If you're into sports, if you're into the arts, if you want to do a little bit of traveling on the public transportation systems that we have here, you can really do it all in Worcester. A lot of fun stuff to do here, a lot of good food here. It's a really good foodie town. So lots of good restaurants, lots of great little cafes to study in and kind of just have a cup of coffee and hang out. So it's really fun here in Worcester, and we're a really diverse city as well. So Worcester is a sanctuary city, and so you kind of get a lot of diversity here in terms of people. That also adds to the food culture we've got here. You can get food from all over the world. It's delicious. It's affordable. We love it. And then when you talk about the campus, we have 9 different fields of study in Worcester. They're all graduate and professional, as I mentioned. So a little bit older of a student population, and everybody's working towards their healthcare licensure. So all of our programs in Worcester go year round, meaning that you have fall, spring, and summer semesters. And this campus is unique in the sense that it does have on-campus housing available. So I'll talk to you about that in just a second. The other thing I'd like to mention about Worcester is that there's a lot of ways to get involved. Optometry specifically has a ton of clubs and organizations that you can get involved with. And apart from that, there's a lot of other clubs and organizations that are non-program specific. So just a fun way to get to know other students on campus. So I'd love to throw it over to our students. I know you're not from Worcester or even this area at all. So could you kind of tell us about that transition and what you think about Worcester?
Okay, I guess I'll go first. So actually, as Courtney mentioned, we are not from Worcester. Our classmen have this whole list. So every weekend, whenever a schedule is free, we try to explore Worcester. So far, we have been to many restaurants. There's like escape rooms, amazing. And then like our study spots, as mentioned, there's lots of restaurants here as well. And like Library of Worcester is amazing as well. So another social spot. So there are many places where you can explore in Worcester. Like, yes, it is a small city, but just so many places.
Awesome. How about you, Delasha?
I agree with what Derby said. I think you guys pretty much covered it. But another thing I really have started to realize after about 8 or 9 months of being here is that I feel like this is the perfect college town and a perfect place to go to graduate school in, because it's not like there's tons of things to do. There's lots of like relaxing things to do. There's exciting things to do. And if you really want to go crazy, Boston's an hour away. But I feel like it's calm and calm enough to be able to focus in school. But yeah, I feel like it has a bit of everything. And if anyone needs suggestions of things to do here, then I have a list. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
excellent. That's wonderful. And Dr. Bates, you moved here, right? You're not from New England, are you?
I came here from Dallas with the intent to be here for 2 years and then run back to Texas, where I'm from. And actually, the university put me up in furnished apartment housing. We put all our stuff in storage for the 2-year interim. And it turns out that I love Worcester so much, and my wife does, We bought a house, and now I'm here to stay. We thought that when we lived in Worcester, if we want to do something, we're pretty close to Boston to do it. But I've got to tell you, in the 7 years that we've been here, we've probably been to Boston a handful of times, and this place has got it all. It's big enough. It's small enough. You can get out of town in 5 minutes and be on the top of a mountain in 25. So it's a very livable place and very affordable.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys, for that feedback. And speaking of living in Worcester, one other thing that we do want to talk about is the option to live on campus. So, like I said, we have students from all over. And one of the conveniences of being a Worcester student is that we offer on-campus residences. So this is kind of a mature graduate community, very different from what you're thinking about with like undergraduate dorming. Everybody has their own private room. And we offer a lot of different housing styles, including studios, apartment suites, and even 2 to 3 bedroom condos. So some of the photos on this slide are a couple of our different spaces that we have. We offer housing year round. So if you were wanting to be in housing for part or all of your 4 years in the optometry program, you totally can do that. And I think the other convenience of living on campus is just not really having to worry about all those monthly bills. You're going to be in a busy program. And if you're not from around here, it might feel a little overwhelming to have, rent, your utilities, your cable, your streaming, your Wi-Fi. So, all of that is really included in the cost of living. It's charged once per semester. You can wrap it right onto your tuition bill. So there's that convenience factor as well. Now, I'm curious, for our current students, do either of you live in on-campus housing, and how do you feel about it?
Yes, I actually live in the 10 Lincoln Residence Hall. And this is basically a remodeled hotel. We have residence halls here. It's a studio, so essentially what a hotel room looks like with your own private bathroom. There's no kitchen. So there's a communal kitchen on the top floor that's used by all students. And if you are someone that's into meal prepping, it's very effective. You don't necessarily need a kitchen. It's very effective. It's very cost effective as well. And the reason that I chose this one is because I needed to live by myself and I couldn't share a bathroom, and that was perfect for me. And it's also the building where all of our optometry classes and faculty is. So you don't necessarily have to go outside at all. You have pretty much everything you need in this entire building. So yeah, that's an option. And Druvi's in the other one, so she can talk about it.
So like Dalasha, I really love cooking in my house. So I actually live 10 minutes away from the 10 Lincoln Square building. I live with a roommate, so it's an apartment suite where we share bathroom, we share kitchen space, but we have our own private rooms with a bed and mattress and like a study table and few furnitures along with it. The walk itself is not bad. Like some days I'll be studying at 10 Lincoln till late at night, and there's campus security willing to walk with me over to my building. And I am comfortable enough to walk alone at night as well because the area is very safe as well. And so for the walk is great because there are so many restaurants. I can just keep on looking around, grab lunch, breakfast, whatever I want. So it's amazing so far. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, and it's definitely worth looking online at our website at the different types of living spaces that we have. The majority of them do have ensuite like kitchens and stuff like that. And so, you'll see different amenities and different sized units depending on where you're living. And I think the one other thing that kind of Delasha and Druvia had mentioned, it comes fully furnished. So you don't really have to worry about dragging like couches, beds, mattresses, desks, all that sort of stuff across the country that's already here for you. So they're kind of ready, move-in ready for you. All right. And then we just kind of want to give you a snapshot of what we offer at the Worcester campus. So like I mentioned, we do have 9 different fields of study. In addition to optometry, we have 2 other doctoral programs in physical therapy and pharmacy. We have master's programs in acupuncture, physician assistant studies, and occupational therapy, and bachelor's programs, which are 16-month kind of quick programs for people who have a lot of college credit already. We have a bachelor's in dental hygiene, in diagnostic medical sonography, and in nursing. So you're really surrounded by these students. And we have buildings spread throughout the city, but where optometry is located, there are 6 different programs. So you're really seeing those students kind of all the time. So kind of going hand in hand with being on campus with students from all different professions is interprofessional education, or what we call IPE. And we think that interprofessionalism is very important in the field of healthcare. So we're really moving towards a more collaborative approach. You know, you're not just working on your own as an optometrist. You might be in a community health center where you're working with other staff members who are from different professions. You really need to understand what's your role, but also kind of what's their role and how do we work together to help our patients. So IPE is really fun. It is something that is built right into your schedule throughout your first several years here at MCPHS. And so you'll get to work with students from these other programs through a bunch of different school-sponsored activities. And so we do a lot of things about learning what each profession does, about how you work with them. We like to do things like cultural competencies, since all of our healthcare professionals need to know how to work with people from different socioeconomic backgrounds, cultural, ethnic backgrounds, and that sort of thing. I think last year we did a Narcan training, which was pretty kind of appropriate for the current opioid crisis in this country. So things like that. And since I'm not running these IPE activities, I wonder if our students or even Dr. Beach could talk about maybe some of your favorite things that you've done through IPE days.
I'll take a shot. We just one example is that we just finished our student research day. This is a day when students from all different campuses and all different programs present their research, and you know, they put posters all around the auditorium here, and stand in front of their posters and present their research to the people circulating through. And in addition, optometry students have they present interesting case reports. So it's a great activity, and you can actually see what's going on at the other schools in terms of education and research, and interact with them. One other point is that at the in the 10 Lincoln, well, actually in all of the MCPHS residence facilities, you'll be living and with people from other programs. So if you get sick of your optometry colleagues, then you can always make friends and interact with your friends from dental and OT and PT and physician's assistant program. So we also have another example would be that we have students from, for example, the PA program, physician's assistant program, circulate through the optometry clinic, and we show them how to use a slit lamp by a microscope, and how to do a basic neurological workup, and how to do some basic types of emergency care, like a scratched eye, things like that.
Awesome. Thank you for that feedback. So let's talk specifically about the optometry program. I'm sure you're excited to hear about that. So this program is a fall start term only. So we get started in September every year, and it is a 4-year program. We'll kind of go through the curriculum soon after this. One of the highlights of our university's offerings is the opportunity to do a dual degree with the Master of Public Health. So it's not something that you apply for now if you're in the application process. It's still too early for that. But once you've kind of done a couple of semesters, if you're still doing well in the optometry coursework, you have this option to tack on some additional online coursework. They're all MPH courses. And so you would do those kind of on your own time. They're asynchronous, just meaning that you can log in anytime to do the coursework and submit your assignments, as long as they're all kind of submitted by the deadline. So you don't have to be logged in at specific days and times. So it really works while you're in another program. You can just kind of fit it in where you can around your other studies. And it's really nice because you still graduate on time, and you get not only your Doctor of Optometry, but you would graduate with a second degree, the Master of Public Health, at no additional cost to you. I think it's also important to kind of talk about our match rate with residency programs. So if you are someone who would like to continue on once you graduate from the optometry program and complete a residency, that is absolutely something that you can apply for. We actually have a higher match rate in comparison with the national average of 19%. So and that is likely based on the fact that we have such a clinical based program. So when you're applying for these residencies, of course, they're going to be looking at things like your academics and your board scores, but they're also looking at your previous experience in optometry. And, we'll talk about this a lot more kind of moving forward, but our students are getting hands-on clinical experience very early in the program. It's very important to us that students are kind of getting the hands-on piece along with the didactic piece from the very beginning. And so by the time that you graduate, you have this great portfolio, and that's really helpful for matching you with a residency. And, when you do residencies, those are great if you're looking to go into teaching, working with the VA, research, that sort of thing. Dr. Bates, do you work with students who are planning to go out on residency? I know you're pretty involved in like research and stuff like that.
I don't specifically, other than my role in the clinic as a clinical instructor. But as far as research and residencies are not necessarily tied together.
Right. Okay, so a little bit more about our School of Optometry. We do have a small class size of about 64 students. So each fall we enroll 64 new students. And then when you break down into our labs, we usually break those into 4 different sections of about 16 students. So once you come into our lab, you're seeing a lot more one-on-one attention. These labs usually have a couple of faculty members in there that are kind of helping you through and making sure that you're on track with everything. And I wonder if Dr. Bates, you could kind of talk about the different ways that the faculty support students throughout their time at MCPHS.
That's one of the things that we're sort of known for. The support here is really tremendous. Number one, and this is one of the reasons I stayed here actually, we have a tremendous faculty, very collaborative faculty. We have an open door policy basically for all students. Very rare that you see a door closed if a faculty member is in his or her office, unless they're talking to a student, confidentially. But we give all kinds of resources for learning, support, tutoring, different levels of tutoring for our students, and every one of our faculty are personal and approachable. And we really, we have the philosophy that once you get into optometry school, we want to make you the best doctors you can be. We're not trying to cull you out and abuse you. We want you to succeed. So we do everything within our power to make that happen. So.
Yeah, I think one of the really great things that we offer through the Center for Academic Success and Enrichment, Dr. Beach had mentioned that we have tutors, and those are current students in the optometry program who are free for you or included in your tuition. You can use them as much as you'd like to. And it's really helpful, I think, especially when you first come into the optometry program. It's a different pace than you're used to. The exams look a little bit different from anything you've ever done in undergrad. And so it's just kind of a transition. It's a lot of information coming at you. So the time management piece might be a little bit different. So the tutors are great because they just did the coursework you're working on. And you can set up in-person meetings with tutors. You can do online training. And so as much as or as little as you want to use those, you absolutely can. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the curriculum for our students. And so, especially kind of from the point of view of someone who's kind of in it, I wonder if, Drew, you could start and kind of tell us about what year one is looking like.
Yes, of course. So my first year we spent a lot of time in class learning conceptual stuff, making sure we understand everything, the basic knowledge. But at the same time, we also did clinical practice. And at this time, we would practice on our classmates. So when we get to do our patient's own exam, we have all those skills necessary to do a full exam as well. And during the first year, we also got a lot of opportunities to shadow an upperclassman and see how things go in the clinic, how to take a patient's exam, and like the dynamics in there. One thing I really like about the first year, as Dr. Page mentioned, that there's so much help, so much resources to help you succeed here. And another thing, like the class size really helps. With these labs, there are 16 students and at least 2 professors. So that's one-on-one connection right there. And the professors really have a great chance to know you and understand you. And you can also approach them with any questions you have as well. So the first year is majority in the classroom and also preparing for the clinic.
Right. And I think we've talked a little bit about this, but maybe not kind of addressed it super directly. But we do have a clinic right on site. So we have the Eye and Vision Center, the EVC, where patients from our community can come in and get their optical services. So we do exams, and we offer exams and glasses free of charge. And so it's a really great way for us. It's a big part of our mission to give back to the community. And so we're able to kind of see people. Being in a diverse community, we see a lot of diverse patients as well. So it's really a win-win where, we're really helping the community. We're really making a difference in the city of Worcester. But also it's a really great practice opportunity for you. So even in that first year, you're, like Dhruvi said, observing right in the EVC and kind of seeing that happen. Now, how about year 2, Delasha? Can you talk a little bit about what that's going to look like?
Sure, not quite there yet, but the thing with year 2 is that, like Dhruvi said, we did a lot of didactic learning, and we also take clinical classes where we learn optometric skills. And year 2 is basically when we apply it onto real patients for the first time. So in second year, fall semester, so in your 4th semester of school, you will start to see your own patients in the clinical faculty in the Eye and Vision Center, which, like Courtney mentioned, is just on site. And another way of getting experience with clinical care is that we also participate in school screenings. So the population of Worcester is very diverse. There's people that speak over 30 languages, and getting to be a part of the school vision screening, since we have a good relationship with the public schools as well, is a really good opportunity. We also provide, like has been mentioned, we provide eye glasses at no cost. There's no questions asked about insurance. So I think that's a really amazing thing that the school is doing, and honestly, it's a privilege to be a part of something like that. So yeah.
All right. And then as you get into year 3, that's kind of when you're exposed to our specialty clinics. And you'll kind of see as we go through the program that you get very much more hands-on as you continue through the program. So we have specialty clinics in pediatrics, binocular vision, low vision, glaucoma, and contact lens. So during your 3rd year, you're also going to rotate through our community health centers. So we have several, one within the city of Worcester and 2, I think, quite close by. And so what's neat in the community health centers is that you're working not just with the optometrists, right? So this is where the IPE, the interprofessionalism, comes in. The community health centers have services where you're going to see pharmacists, you're going to see PAs, nurses, maybe PTs, you'll kind of run into them. And you definitely get kind of a bigger patient history too, because you have all of those people. The patient history is going to be a lot bigger when you kind of see your patients there. So year 3 is really fun. You get to kind of go into those specialty clinics and really kind of get a lot of hands-on real world experience. Dr. Bates, would you add anything to that?
Just that that these specialty clinics are always evolving with the latest technology. And we're also going to be expanding our specialty clinics to include, pediatrics should be their next division, therapy, because that's a huge part of what we do. And we hope to expand our specialty clinics to neurosensory testing unit and cataract and refractive surgery co-management. So, like I said, it's always growing, and it's always state of the art.
You really get to see a lot of stuff as you kind of go through this program and figure out maybe what specialty you might want to go into.
Right. Myopia management, by the way, is a very, very hot area right now. And that's also another, we've just started that myopia management clinic. And that's going to be a very important part of optometry in the future.
Because we've all got it, right? All right, and then we pop into year 4. We've made it there already. So year 4 is really great because that's when you're going to be going pretty much exclusively out on externships. So there's not really a lot of didactic education in this year. You're going to be doing 3 16-week externships. And so I mentioned earlier in this presentation that we do have externships kind of across the nation. So you can really travel if you're interested in doing that, maybe see different specialties or experience kind of working in like a rural community if that's something that you're interested in doing after you graduate. So when you do these rotations, you're going to do one at a community health center, one at a VA facility working with veterans, and then you have one elective rotation. So that's really the one where if you have a really strong interest in some sort of specialty or doing something specific, you have a lot of kind of wiggle room there. And that's when you would really work with our clinical coordinator and kind of talk about what interests you and what you're looking to do for that elective rotation. I wonder if also, Dr. Bates, you could kind of just give us those other aspects of the 4th year in the program as far as capstone, board prep, and that sort of thing.
Well, board prep has become a huge part of, this has just been initiated over the last year and is already showing tremendous results. We are concentrating very hard on national board preparation for our students for all the parts, and for part 3 especially, we've implemented what we call a part 3 room, which is an exam room dedicated to part 3, and it consists of cameras in every instrument and recording devices, and the idea is that the student will perform an eye exam. Everything is recorded, all the views through the ophthalmoscopes, through the slit lamps, and then a faculty member will review the exam with the student to make sure that any deficient areas of the exam that would be affected by the boards can be remedied. And that's already shown results. Our last board results have gone up significantly, and we hope this will continue. In fact, we have a faculty member that is now dedicated to student success on the boards. Residency, as Courtney said, we support residencies. We have our own residency in South Carolina at the VA, and we do have one of the highest applicant to acceptance residency success rates in the country. Residencies are important if you want to specialize in something, or if you want to have a more advanced type of position when you get out of optometry school. And although you're putting off a year of higher income, the long-term results are definitely worth it, because you can be, you can have a lot of practices now require residencies in a lot of institutions as well. The capstone project is a 4th year project. You will do a research project or a special type of clinical project, and you'll work with a faculty member, and that is required. And you will also hopefully present your capstone project at one of our professional meetings, like the American Academy of Optometry or the American Optometric Association. So it's 4th year is a very exciting time. You finally get your nose out of the books, at least for the didactic curriculum. You're going to be studying for boards. You're always studying for boards. But you're doing so much in terms of patient care and some of the things where you're actually using your brain and your clinical knowledge.
Absolutely. And I know we have students every year who do, they go to those national conferences. There's one in New Orleans this fall, right?
No, we just had ours in New Orleans.
Was that last fall?
We've got one coming up in Nashville, and then one in the Academy will be, unfortunately, in Indianapolis. on the less exotic locales for a meeting. But
Well, that's a really great networking opportunity for the students as well,
it's
right?
fantastic, yeah. And then every one of these meetings has job marts, and you can go to the exhibit halls and see what the state of the art in instrumentation is. Meetings are wonderful to go to, and to present, you get a lot of it's great exposure.
Awesome. Before I move on to the next slide, we did have a question in the Q&A that I think Dr. Bates would be able to answer for us. Is exposure to geriatric optometry included in year 3 specialties?
We don't have a specialty in geriatric optometry. We have in our primary care clinic, we have patients ranging in age from birth to, I think our record is 104 years. But in our low vision clinic, we see, I'd say the great majority of our patients are elderly, and the low vision department is one of our strengths, and you will learn how to help elderly people with their vision, whose vision is lost either with things like macular degeneration or glaucoma or trauma or strokes. So the geriatric component is very strong there. But you'll come out of here with a very good knowledge of geriatric services and clinical care.
Excellent. Thank you. Dr. Beach, I'll probably let you take this slide as well to talk a little bit more about what we offer here.
That is a door, and we have a wonderful clinic called the Eye and Vision Center, and I think that it's possible, Courtney, that you understated the importance of our clinic. We don't just see indigent people in the clinic. It is an important part of our clinic population and the service we do for Worcester. But we see everybody from the professional hockey team here in town to the mayor of Worcester, to everybody comes here for some of the most expert vision care in the city. We have state of the art. One of our commitments is keeping state of the art equipment and instrumentation. We're always upgrading it. We have the latest in vision therapy technology and glaucoma diagnosis, and in all types of pathology diagnosis. We have it's listed here as the VR Magic Binocular and Direct Ophthalmoscopy Simulation Lab. That's not part of our clinic, but it is a big part of our clinical training. And then we do have a very diverse population. There are, at last count, 32 languages spoken by our patients in this clinic, and we have translation services. And one of the things that you'll get good at is not only you have to sort of parallel process. You're going to be doing your eye exam to the best of your ability, and working with the translation services to service the patient's needs completely. Let's see if I'm missing anything there. Health centers are also very important. And one of the great things about these health centers is with the populations, we have refugees, we have immigrants, we have homeless people, we have low-income people, and there's a lot of conditions, unfortunately, a lot of eye conditions. But in terms of clinical education, it's very rich. You'll see things that you may not see. And if you go into a regular private practice, you'll see stuff on a daily basis that you may not see, for years at a time in a private practice, or a less community-oriented practice. So you'll get a tremendous clinical education. I know that when I hear back from people who have hired our graduates in their practices, they tell us, both in the residencies and in their practices, that MCPHS clinically, our students are among the best that they have, and they require the least coaching in clinical care.
Okay, so in addition to all of this other stuff, you'll find that a lot of our faculty members are still working part-time in the field. And, with that, they are up to date on the latest trends and technologies in healthcare, just like Dr. Bates was saying. And so we also see several faculty members that are still actively participating in various research projects. So even though we are a very clinically based institution, there are opportunities for research available if that's something that's interesting to you. Dr. Bates, I know you're pretty involved with this. Could you kind of talk about opportunities, things that students have done in the past, any collaborations we've had with other schools?
Well, this is my baby. This is research. Um, so when I came here to develop the research program, we decided that we want things a little different than other optometry schools. In most schools, you will have silos. You'll have the research faculty, people that just spend their lives in the lab. You'll have the clinical faculty that just spend their time in the clinic, and you'll have your academic faculty that lecture in the lecture rooms. And none, the three of them will meet, and there are competitions among the three silos for funding and things like that. We decided that we want to have a very horizontal approach to optometric education. Nearly every one of our faculty are in the clinic. We have a couple of PhDs on faculty that are not in the clinic. Nearly every faculty member lectures to students, and all faculty are required to do research and to do scholarship, to publish articles, to contribute to optometric knowledge. So in that vein, every faculty member who's doing a research project will often recruit students to help them with those projects. We have an open invitation for students to develop their own research projects. There is university funding for grants for both student and faculty research, in addition to seeking outside grants. And some of these projects have been very important. For example, one of our students developed an early method for diagnosis of a retinal disease called hydrochloroquine retinotoxicity. And that has been presented in, it was a very successful research project. She presented it at Student Research Day, and then it was presented at the American Academy of Optometry, and also at the American College of Rheumatology meeting, national meeting. And we're in the works with a publication for it. So one of the things that we don't encourage students to get into research in their first year, because we really want to see how they're doing academically. The priority here is academics, and if a student is struggling with their academics, we don't want them distracted with research. So we usually wait till about the second year and then invite people to participate in lab research, clinical research, surveys, those types of research projects. And then we want them to present them and publish them. And that's great for your CV. It's great for job applications. And if you want to go into academic optometry or research, or work for a corporation like Alcon and their research labs, or in their clinical research program, it's a great way to prepare for that.
Excellent.
Hopefully that's a good rundown.
Yeah, I mean, that was a lot of great stuff, and hopefully you're pretty excited to apply here now. There really are a lot of opportunities here at MCPHS. And so, your next step is to apply if you haven't done so already. So MCPHS participates in the CAS system, the Centralized Application Servicer. And so when you apply, you're going to apply through what's called OptomCAS. And basically, it's a common app for optometry schools. You'll fill this out, you'll send everything over to OptomCAS, and then you can apply to multiple programs if you choose to do so. So for MCPHS, we do prefer a bachelor degree, but students are eligible to apply as long as they have at least 90 semester credits under their belt. And all of the prerequisites will be completed before term start. So as part of that application process, you are going to submit official transcripts from all colleges and universities attended. Those go directly to Optomcast, not to MCPHS. We require a minimum overall GPA of 3.0. And then we also require candidates to submit either an OAT or a GRE score. There is no experience required to come into this program, but it is really highly encouraged to, at minimum, shadow within an optometrist's office. This is a big commitment. It's 4 years. It's time consuming. It is not free either. So I think before you make that commitment to optometry, it's always a good idea to try to get some in-person experience. And as I mentioned, you do have to complete your prerequisites. They must be completed with a C or higher by August 15th of the year you plan to enroll. So as long as you can get those done, you can still apply now for our fall 2024 start date. We require at least one letter of recommendation. These all go through Optomcast, but they'll let you upload up to 5, I believe. And so if you're able to get 2 or 3 letters of recommendation, that is certainly preferred as part of the application process. And then if you have international coursework, basically all international schools, with the exception of English-speaking Canadian transcripts, they do have to be evaluated by World Education Services. So once you submit all of that, your application will be reviewed, and the next step forward would be an interview. So we do offer interviews virtually and in person this year, and we anticipate continuing to have that process in the next year as well. So we always recommend applying early. In terms of this current open application, there's no such thing as applying early anymore, but we do start interviewing before the application deadline. And so we have been running those interviews and filling the class. The application is open a little bit longer if you were preparing to apply for fall 2024, but keep an eye on that deadline. So the final deadline to apply through Optomcast is May 23rd, and your application should be complete on that date. Now, if you are just preparing for next cycle and you're ready to apply for fall 2025, that application will open in late July. So you can hold off right now, but we always recommend getting started. Create that account in late July or early August and start filling it out. It isn't super difficult to fill out, but it is tedious and time consuming. So, they let you log in and out as many times as you want, and you can kind of work on that over a couple of months if you need to do that. So when we're looking at your application, we are looking at, your GPAs are certainly important. We want to see that you can be successful in full-time heavy science coursework. We're certainly going to zoom in on those prerequisites since they're very foundational courses for optometry. But we'll take a look at that experiences section as well. So interest experiences, motivations, any extracurriculars you've been participating in, any healthcare experience. If you're working while you're in school, even if it's not in healthcare, put that right on the application. So really just put everything on there and we can kind of review that. And it's just kind of important to have everything there. And then kind of lastly, we also want to mention the financial piece. So all domestic students are eligible to apply through FAFSA. So you can use FAFSA funds to help finance your education as a graduate student. So you'll have those unsubsidized loans, as well as opening up as a graduate student to Graduate Plus loans. Now, I know we have a strong amount of Canadian students who are coming through this program as well. And if you haven't already spoken with her, we have Krista Levac, who works directly with our Canadian students. And, she's definitely a great point of resource for the financial piece coming from outside of the United States in terms of private loan options as a Canadian student. So, we also have financial services, and we're happy to set up affordability appointments with you. We're also very glad to be able to offer scholarships to our admitted students. So that's something that's automatic that we will consider you for with your application. So if you're admitted, you would have both your acceptance letter and a scholarship letter attached to that. And that is based on GPA. This year, we are offering merit scholarships of up to $12,000 per year per year. So that's $12,000 four times over the course of 4 years. So really good scholarship funding right now. And for our Canadian students, we also do it kind of an exchange to make sure that we're giving you the equivalent amount in Canadian dollars. So lastly, if you've been in contact with us before, you've probably chatted with either Krista as a Canadian student or Hannah Campbell. So Hannah Campbell works directly with our optometry students, right from your point of interest all the way through the interview process and enrollment. So if you have not spoken with her and you don't have her contact information, take it down today, or even just take a screenshot or a photo of this page. She is super helpful. She will do appointments with you. If you wanted to go over your transcripts, the application process, we are so happy to do that. We'd also love to see you on campus. So we do have virtual tours available for our long distance candidates, but if you're able to come on over, then you can certainly come to campus and see the I Am Vision Center and see our optical and see just kind of what's going on campus. There's a lot going on. We have several different clinics, not just optometry, kind of students around almost all the time. And so it's a really fun place to come and visit. Now, with the few minutes that we have left, I did want to open this up to the Q&A for any of our candidates who are still in the chat. If you wanted to use the Q&A and ask our current students anything, we'd love to answer those before we head off for the evening. While we wait for those to come in too, I figured I have a question I like to ask all of our candidates before we log off of information sessions. So for Dhruvi and Dalasha, I'm curious why you chose MCPHS for your graduate studies.
It's honestly a lot of the reasons that I just talked about. Number one was how responsive MCPHS was to me throughout the application process, because I never have had a school respond to my email within not even a day, like within a few hours, right? I always felt like there was someone available that I could ask questions to, and that would be very responsive to me. Like Courtney just mentioned, Krista Levac, if there's any Canadians here, then she was the point of correspondence for Canadians, and she was always responsive, always ready to help out with, we have to do a lot of extra processing with immigration. Reason number two is how supportive the faculty was. Like Dr. Beach mentioned, we have an open door policy, and I've never felt like I'm not welcome to talk to a faculty member, or, like they're always willing to help out if you're not doing well. If you are doing well, they're there to celebrate you. And that sort of one-on-one interaction was very important to me. And number three was, I come from a very large undergrad university. Actually, Juvie and I went to the same undergrad, but there were about 40,000 kids in our school. And we never knew another, we never had that relationship with professors just because the class sizes were so big. And MCP, like there was a smaller class size, the faculty to student ratio was good. And I knew that if I came here, then I could finally have a chance to have that relationship with professors. And honestly, it just allows you to shine. So it's a great place to be. And if you have any questions or need help along the way, there's always going to be someone there for you. So yeah, those are my reasons. Jibby?
Yeah, so whatever reasons the letter mentioned, I'm kind of on the same boat. My first important was the class size really mattered to me. MCP just offers 64 students as class size, which I believe was perfect for me because, as she mentioned again, the faculty to student ratio was amazing. And the faculty, again, with open door policy, they are always there for us. And not just faculty, your upperclassmen, your classmates. Like this year, our classmates are so close with each other. Like one would make notes and share it with everyone. Other person would make other notes and share it with everyone. So just this welcoming and comfortable environment. My second reason was, again, as Dilasha mentioned, the response we got from the admissions team. It was very quick when I compared to my other choices at the time of applying. They were very fast, very helpful, really wanted you to be on the MCPHS team. So the whole experience has been amazing for me, and those were my reasons as well. Yeah.
Excellent. I think those are all really great reasons. And, to hear it from a student who's really experienced our community, that's a big thing for us. We have a really great close-knit community on campus, and it's kind of nice to hear it from someone who's actually in it. So I think we're at our hour. I do want to let our visitors know that if you are still interested in asking questions, please reach out to Hannah Campbell. We have student ambassadors that are within the program. So if you are interested in chatting with someone, had some questions about what it's like from the student point of view, we're happy to connect you. So just send an email over to Hannah Campbell and we'll be sure to set that up. I want to thank our students and faculty member for joining us today. It's been a pleasure chatting with everybody here, and hopefully we'll see your application soon. Please stay in touch and have a great evening. Take
Thank
care,
you.
everybody.
Bye-bye.